Welcome to Future Forward, the show that unravels the practical stories of AI's transformative power in the world of business. In this dynamic show, we go beyond the buzzwords and industry hype to explore the real-world applications and groundbreaking innovations that AI brings to professionals like you.
Welcome to Future Forward, a special series dedicated to explore a fascinating world of AI that we call artificial intelligence, the challenges and the opportunities, and how it's impacting business and society. My name is Paul Joustra. I'm a SVP of Transformation at Teleperformance, managing also globally innovation and partnerships on a global level. And I'm proud to have today my dear friend Michael on this webinar, on this episode for today. So Michael, could you please introduce yourself a bit more to the audience?
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Paul, for having me. I'm Michael Aronowitz, EVP of Digital Sales and Strategy at Teleperformance. I oversee all our sales programs on a global level and ensure success. Looking forward to today's conversation.
Thank you, Michael. Again, it's great to have you here. You are by far the leader in this space. So today's episode is all around, AI and sales. Again, it's a Future Forward series all around AI and sales for today. We will give some practical use cases on how you can drive sales by applying AI and other digital transformation solutions. So our first question to you, Michael. So why do you think that the element of human connection is essential for achieving positive outcomes in sales interactions?
It's a simple answer for a complicated question, but people like to buy from people. All of us will do our research. All of us will go on the web, we'll do our research, we'll ask, we'll save different stories, different bookmarks, and we'll go through it. But in the end, to get us over the finish line, sometimes we do have some questions that we want persons to answer for us. And so the good thing about AI and sales is that on the front end, and I'll talk about this a lot today, about your digital strategy, using AI in your digital strategy will ensure higher conversions. To have a smooth sale and have things go right, sometimes we need that human interaction to take us over the finish line. So it's a combination of both, and you really need both who complement each other. That's going to lead me to a question for you. How can AI tools assist sales agents in bolstering sales conversion rates and promoting cross-selling and upselling to reach opportunities?
So actually, within Teleperformance and within the larger sales space, we have seen a couple of great use cases about how AI is actually helping us to drive sales. So the first that comes to mind is AI-driven lead scoring and prioritization. So using historical information about a sales campaign, helping us to better predict the propensity of buying. So instead of calling the whole 100,000 leads that you have in your list, only focusing on the top propensity leads and converting those. That will help sales teams to focus on those leads with the highest return instead of spending a lot of time on low opportunities and low leads. The second opportunity that I'm seeing in the space and with our clients is using sentiment analysis and natural language processing. So during the interaction that the advisor has with a candidate, whether that is B2B or B2C, with a prospect, understanding the sentiment during the interaction and also using that sentiment to drive the conversation and maybe to emphasize on some elements, that's a second, I think, major category in applying AI. And I think the third, and I think for definitely not the least most important, is making it personal. So I think the AI is actually capable to personalize and contextualize the way how we can do our recommendations. And especially now with generative AI, the amount of data in those models is immense, right? And leveraging generative AI models to contextualize and personalize content, emails, product recommendations, during the interaction and also as a preparation before you actually start the interaction, I think that's a whole different dimension. And of course, we already know cases like personalization of content and recommendations like Spotify, Netflix, all those major companies are doing this for years. But now with this large language models, actually companies can actually adapt and embed these kind of AI predictions into their models to further take this to a next level. And so the whole outcome and the quality of your AI will even grow further. So I think those are the three recommendations that we see in Teleperformance and that we see within our clients to drive those kind of conversion rates and cross sell.
One of the things is in AI is recommendation engines. Companies use recommendation engines to make the call go quicker, faster, more efficient. We've seen it in a lot of travel where, everyone wants to stay in a 5-star hotel, but may be able to afford a 3-star hotel, and we don't want to insult them in any way, shape, or form. So recommendation engines have been around for a while. They help our agents. They help people make better, faster, quicker decisions. They help on making sure that we put the right person in the right room, etc. Are there any other AI advanced technologies that you see out there that can help the productivity of sales teams, to make sure that they can go faster, quicker? What are some of the tools out there that you're seeing?
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. So productivity of sales reps in general is always, not always, but it can be a concern, right? Because you of course you want to increase your top line revenue. However, you don't want to spend millions and millions of dollars of hiring those sales reps. So leveraging AI and advanced analytics and also some digital transformation solution is really helping our clients to become more efficient. So three opportunities that I'm seeing. So first of all is smart automation and smart routing, right? So using AI to match the best advisor with the best prospect or best lead, that's the first thing, right? So understanding from a persona perspective, who are the best match, right? And using that for routing. But also taking away some of the administrative tasks that an agent is usually doing, right? About data entry, setting up an appointment as a follow-up, etc. So what we try to do, and with some of our clients, we try to free up some of that valuable time of our sales reps to take away this administrative burden that they sometimes have, do this kind of sales activities. Because they should focus on, like you mentioned, right? It's an emotional thing. People want to buy from people. So our agents should focus on having the conversation with the customer, with the prospect, instead of actually doing a lot of data admin kind of work. The second thing is, yeah. So the second thing that we see is about dialers, right? So we all know the dialers, they are there for many, many years, right? But what we see now is that with this having all this data available, not just your CRM data, but even CDP data, customer data, platform data, click data from your website and your whole digital engagements, we can actually better utilize those kind of dialers, leveraging AI. And that's another thing, right? So we can integrate multiple systems to actually better route and better dial or contact whatever channel you want to use those customers and bringing them to your advisors. And the third element is, of course, forecasting, right? So how can we ensure that we have the right amount of agents available and advisors available to actually, connect with your customers? Whether that is a proactive chat widget that you have on your website, you need to have the right people in your contact center to actually help those customers when they have a question, when they want to buy something, when they have a high value item in their basket, right? And if before they can check out, maybe they have a question, you need to be there, right? So using that kind of data from your website, from your order campaign, etc., to and do a forecasting around that, that's really helping to drive the productivity.
I really love the forecasting part and the decision-making part. I think sometimes we find ourselves using traditional Excel spreadsheets to try to figure out forecasting and seasonality and holidays and different times and whys. But when you use some AI and when you use AI features and data and analytics behind it, which I'll talk about later, to really help forecasting around seasonality and certain product launches, it just makes a significant difference.
Yeah, I fully agree. And think about the weather, right? The weather is a great thing to add to your forecasting model, right? Because we all know when there's a sunny day, nobody will sit inside with their routing or ordering stuff. They're outside. But also when it's a rainy day, more people will maybe start buying stuff online. So you can use that kind of information to optimize your forecasting process.
Correct.
So maybe Michael, with your experience that you have for years implementing large sales campaigns for enterprise brands, what would be your recommended strategy or maybe even first steps for a sales team to integrate AI-powered solutions into their existing processes because in the end, everybody's looking for a sales performance improvement, right? So what's your recommendation here?
I think the first thing is you need to understand your digital strategy. I've sat over the last few years with many of the top brands out there, understanding their digital strategy. We talk about digital, and we use terms like digital transformation and things like that. But at the end of the day is what is your unique strategy that's different from someone else's? And you have to understand that your digital strategy starts today really with everything. You know, when 80% of buyers start their search online, looking at digital properties, reading content, what is yours and what separates you from the pack? And after you figured out your digital strategy, is it customer centric? And does it work? And what I mean by customer centric, what is the achievement that you're trying to get to? Do you want to drive a phone call? Do you want to drive a chat? Do you want to drive an SMS? But sometimes we have a great strategy, but we forget that people want to buy from people. And that strategy can start with a chat. It could move to live selling video. It could be voice. It could be SMS. But giving the customer choice the way they want to communicate with you comes from the third part, which I'm going to talk about, is data and analytics. And when you take interaction analytics, ingesting 100% of the interactions, understanding the voice of the customer, you can then put these three things together and create a phenomenal digital strategy. But companies today still rather do 2 calls per week per agent, and not ingesting the chats or not ingesting some of the SMSs and only saying, let's ingest 20% of the calls. Well, 20% of the calls, you're still leaving 80% of them out there. And so when you're sitting down and you're looking and you're saying, okay, here's my competitive strategy, here's who we're competing against, you want to hear the voice of the customer. So data analytics is imperative when you can hear all the different nuances of your marketing campaigns, the voice of your customer. So those three things come together: digital strategy, making it customer-centric, and more importantly, start using interaction analytics on all your campaigns to understand the voice of the customer, and that will help you sell more. It'll help you sell more, faster, and more efficient, and streamline certain things, and actually will lower your cost per acquisition while increasing revenue per transaction, and more importantly, creating a higher lifetime value for your customer.
No, it's great to combine this. And I think also what you mentioned about leveraging interaction analytics can actually be the foundation layer of the whole AI models, right? Because with this, you're able to capture all this data from your conversation, from your interactions, and that you can actually leverage to build your own models that actually can better, predict your conversion rates, right, in the near future. And maybe one element that we haven't touched upon today, besides the three that you already mentioned, maybe one more that I think we are sometimes underestimating in the contact center is the performance management using, our gamification element. So how we can actually flow all this information that we discussed about and bring that back to our advisor so they actually can see how they perform, how they should, perform better. We can actually allocate micro learnings, how to mitigate some of the objection reason that customers might have, right? And also enabling our team leaders to see who are my top performers and low performers, and automatically coach them using AI assistance coaching to make them a better advisor. So that for me is a fourth element. I think it's key to have.
I would say, and I'd wrap it up saying that buyers are smarter today than they were yesterday, last month, last year, or 5 years ago. Buyers do a lot of research. And so data analytics, recommendation engines, anything that you can do to be faster and quicker and more efficient than your competitors will drive you success. And so there's never been a better time now than to use AI to help you sell more. And I think as we're seeing that go on, and we're seeing more and more companies understanding cross-selling and upselling, because the customer wants more, but doesn't want to wait. And so when you're able to give a complementary product to a customer in real time that makes sense, they buy. So it's an exciting time right now. Things are happening really, really fast, and completely look forward to the future.
Excellent. Thank you for this valuable insights, Michael. This is really appreciating. Really appreciate your
Thank you.
feedback. And looking
Thank
forward
you.
to the next series. Thank you very much.
Same here. Thanks.